All right. Hello. My name is Brenner Musgrave.
My name is Jacob Terrio.
My name is Stephanie Sloan.
And my name is Savannah Thornton.
And we're going to present on a little of the history of the United States today. We're of course from the United States, and I'm going to go through some of the most important periods of United States history.
So first, who was Christopher Columbus? Well, first of all, he was an Italian explorer, and he went on a voyage searching for the Asian continent. But he wanted to go around through the Atlantic Ocean. Instead, he found what is now parts of North and South America. Here are the voyages that he took, and he discovered parts of South America, parts of Central America, and parts of the Caribbean islands. And a lot of people think that he discovered the American continent, but that is actually not true.
So, Amerigo Vespucci is the one who discovered the North American continent. He, like Christopher Columbus, was also an Italian explorer, and America is named after him. You can tell by his name, and Amerigo, pretty similar. And so Christopher Columbus explored South America, and Amerigo explored North America.
Right. Next, we have the Mayflower. And what the Mayflower was, it was a ship that brought forth the first pilgrims, is what we call them, the first people who came to America. They came because they wanted religious freedom, so they could pick what religion they wanted to practice. And on the boat, the Mayflower, there was 102 passengers, people going to America, and 30 people, a part of the crew of the ship.
So when the Pilgrims on the Mayflower landed in America, they landed at a place that is now called Plymouth. And they named it Plymouth after a rock that they boarded on. That rock is called Plymouth Rock. And it now exists in what's called Massachusetts, one of the states. And it's revered as one of the first places that was settled by these pilgrims in America.
And here we have a map of the first original 13 colonies. And so when people started to come to America and to colonize the land, these were the original 13 colonies that were governed by Britain or England.
So now we have the Revolutionary War. So this war was started with the Declaration of Independence. It was a letter that they wrote to Britain to ask for their independence from Great Britain. And so there was a war, and George Washington led that war, and he became president after the victory. And that is what the flag looked like before the war, and after a couple wars, that's what the flag looks like now. So this has 13 stars because of the 13 colonies, and this one has 50 stars for the 50 states that we have now.
So, next big thing, about 100 years later, was the start of the Civil War in America. And so the next really big war was about slavery. And what a civil war is when half of the same country is against each other and there's a war over it. And so the north part of the country wanted no slavery, and the bottom half wanted slavery. And when the war ended, in about 1863, Abraham Lincoln took away slavery because the North had won. And so because of his work as president, he is on the $5 bill and the penny, and is the only president to be on two pieces of currency or money. And Abraham Lincoln was the 16th president of the United States.
So then, as America continued to expand, it went through a phase that we call westward expansion. The first large expansion occurred after the Louisiana Purchase, which was when America bought a piece of land that extended from Louisiana all the way to Oregon, and America bought this land, and they continued to settle it and move further that direction. Later, there was also the Mexican-American War, where there was a border dispute in Mexico, against Mexico, of who owned the land, and America also won much of the land that we own today, including California and Texas. And right at the end of the Mexican-American War, the gold was discovered in California, and people from the East Coast moved from the West Coast searching for gold. And later, when America purchased Alaska from Russia, many people, after gold was discovered in Alaska as well, moved once again from California up to Alaska. So gold motivated lots of people to leave their homes and settle in new lands in order to become rich.
So America today, there are 50 states, like I said before, and this number right there is population. I'm not going to read it, but the most populous city, or the city with the most people, is New York City. And the capital of America is the District of Columbia. Most people know it as Washington, D.C. And Washington, D.C. is right there.
And here we have some of the most famous people throughout American history, modern times and in the past. So we have some movie stars, some writers, some athletes. Up here we have Tom Cruise. Here's his picture. He's an actor. Alfred Hitchcock. He's down here, and he's one of the very important people in the creation of film and the way that it is today in America. He was a film director. And then Stephen King, he is a very famous author. Beyonce, she's a very famous singer today. Katy Perry, also a famous singer. Harrison Ford is a famous actor. You might know him from Star Wars. Brigham Young, over here, was someone who also helped a lot in the westward movement. And Thomas S. Monson, he's over here. He is a prophet for the Mormon Church in America. Judy Garland is also a famous movie star. She was known for her role as Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Walt Disney, over there, he's the creator of Disneyland. David Bowie, another famous singer. Tom Hanks, another famous movie star. F. Scott Fitzgerald was a famous writer. Michael Jordan up here is a famous athlete who plays basketball. Babe Ruth is a famous baseball player. Michael Phelps is a famous swimmer. He swims for the American Olympic team. And then Oprah down here is a famous journalist, and she also has a show on TV.
So next we have a long list of all the presidents ever in the United States. So the first one, Savannah mentioned, George Washington. He was the leader in the Revolutionary War, and I mentioned Abraham Lincoln already. And so elections are held every 4 years. In November this month, the second Tuesday. And so our president right now is Barack Obama, and some of you probably know that the elections happened recently, and so the new president will be Donald Trump, but he won't be an official president until January. So this is the list of all the presidents in America.
So that's our presentation on the history of the U.S. Thank you for watching.